Hi, Josh. Welcome back. How have you been feeling for the last week? Anything new happen?
I mean, I feel a bit better. I'm not thinking about it as much anymore.
Well, that's good. Anything happen like that was groundbreaking for you that you want to tell me about? Did you try to go to work
I mean, I tried, but
in the last week? You did?
yeah, it didn't work out.
Okay. Tell me about it a little bit. What happened?
It was just the same. It's like, even though I'm thinking less about it, but just being in the area really triggers it. It's like, if I see the surroundings, I immediately go into a flashback.
Okay. So, is that making you want more or less not want to do it some more? Having fear of going and trying it more. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I want to go to and talk about the little homework that I gave you. We laid out a little sheet for kind of like your weekly activities. Yeah, and your mastery and your comfort doing stuff, and pleasure. Excuse me, pleasure and your mastery of skills throughout the day. Did you do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you bring that with you at all?
Yeah, it's here.
Okay. So, basically what that was more focused at was at your depression, and because it's a big part of what you're going through right now is depression, and as I can see, you were able to do it, and you did a lot of different activities, pretty much stayed the same throughout the week, but it gives me a little bit more of an idea of what your level of activity is. And again, your pleasure levels seem to constantly be a little bit lower, but they seem to go up a little bit as the week goes on, as you kind of, could I say that as you wrote them down, maybe?
I mean, I just knew that I could do things, but I never thought of what if it brought me pleasure or not. I mean,
Okay.
that was it.
Okay. So, one other thing that comes with that, with your fiance passing away not that long ago, is one of your issues, which you said before, was going back to work, and you have a lot of anxiety about going back to work. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, we talked a little bit about this last week about your automatic thoughts. And do you remember what you had said about what your thoughts would be when you're trying to go back to work? And you said that you see your fiance dying. You kind of have a visualization or a flashback, kind of, right? Okay. So, what were your automatic thoughts that you listened to me? Do you remember?
Yeah. I mean, it was just like the flashback, or that I'm thinking that it was my fault because she came here to eat with me.
Okay. So you're pretty much saying it was your fault that she died, and
Well, not always. I continue to blame that drunk driver. I mean, who the hell gets drunk in the middle of the day and can't just take a damn stop sign?
okay. So what I recognize what you just said there is that it's not always your fault, right? So that kind of takes away from, not takes away, but it you do have points in time where you do believe it's not your fault, and that's good, because you want to get away from those automatic thoughts. All right. So I know we talked about the crosswalk situation. Now I want to ask you again, what is the worst case scenario for you? Because I'm going to try to do an activity, but I want you to read to me what is the worst case scenario for you?
But I just relieve it again. It's like a loop.
It's like a loop, okay. So, we're going to do something called desensitization, systematic desensitization. And what I want you to do is close your eyes and picture this flashback that you have all the time. And I know this is going to seem a little bit unorthodox, but I want you to think about it and tell me how bad it feels on a scale of 1 to 10, okay? Okay, you got it. Okay, so you have visualized it. How bad did it feel?
10.
10. It was a 10. Okay. So that's as bad as it gets, right? So on a usual time when you do it, I'm guessing it also is a 10, right? Okay. So what we're going to try to do is pretty much show you that you can have more control over this, because you don't feel like when you're having these flashbacks all the time that you have control. And that's what you told me before, right? So I want you to keep reliving it and reliving it. I'm just explaining the process right now. We're going to keep redoing it and redoing it until you almost get it normalizes for you, because in order to address your anxieties, we have to face them, right? Because otherwise you're just going to avoid them, and avoidance isn't always the answer. We have to figure out a way to help you cope with your with the situation when you come, so that you could get back to your life as it was before. Right?
Okay.
All right. So I want you to try again, and I want you to describe to me what you're thinking about, and describe the picture to me, okay? Make it as vivid as possible.
We're in the crossway, and she's on my lap. Her arm is broken at a weird angle. Her head is just kind of like slumping backwards. She's bleeding from her nose and mouth. Her torso is caved in. She's just bleeding from her stomach.
Is that all? Okay, good. That was very, very, very brave of you, and that was very hard to do, I imagine. Now, was it any different that time? Was it on a scale of 1 to 10, was that still a 10?
No, it's more like an 8.
It was an 8.
But that's only because I was expecting it.
Okay. Well, that means you may have not made it as vivid as you should have. What I mean is, you need to be able to make it feel like it usually does, but it needs to become almost normalized. You understand what I'm saying a little bit?
How can you normalize this?
Okay, it's not, okay. Normalizing maybe not be a good word. Let's say you're trying to make it so it's not as big a deal for you to deal with, and you can start to develop ways that help you cope with the stress that you're feeling.
Okay.
Does that make any more sense? I know normalize wasn't a good word. I apologize for that.
No, that's fine.
Okay. So, and this would be a situation where you can't, what you're trying to visualize is you can't control it, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to give you more control. Okay? Alright, so we're going to keep on going through that. We're going to try it one more time for right now and see if it helps you. Now I want you to just try as hard as you can to think about that. And it's going to, I'm just going to let you try. Think about it, okay? And just tell me when you're ready.
Yeah.
Okay. How did that do? You visualized it again. What did that feel like?
Horrible.
It felt horrible. Okay. How, did it feel same amount of horrible as before? Or a little bit less horrible?
Yeah. Same.
Okay. Okay. So, I want you to just think about it one more time, alright? And we're just going to try something a little bit different, alright? So go ahead and start the visualization for me.
Okay.
Okay, what are you thinking about right now?
Nothing.
You're not thinking about, you're thinking about my clap. Kind
Yeah.
of startled you, correct?
Yeah.
But you're not thinking about your fiance. Not at that second. You weren't thinking about your fiance, were you?
No.
What do you think happened right there when I did that?
You startled me.
I startled you. So I kind of interrupted your thought.
Yeah.
Did that seem to help? I know it stopped, but did that help you feel a little better at the time?
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah. Good.
Okay. Okay, what I just did right there was a form of something called thought stopping. And all I did was I clapped my hands and I did it really loud. It was just to almost snap you out of your current thoughts. And this is a coping skill that you can use in a lot of situations, like if you start to have a flashback. Like where if you feel like you're losing control, like you want to go to work or something like that, like you're going back to the scene and you start walking, you start to feel anxious about it. All you can do, well, not all, but one thing you can do is just clap your hands.
Okay.
And that seemed to help a little bit. It got your mind off of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So,